Going to quickly cover the different ways you can launch Spot instances and just provide a high level overview of the space. So there are three different main approaches here. One is just spinning up a single EC2 instance. Two is spinning up a group of instances via AutoScaling group, and you could launch Spot this way also with the AutoScaling group. And the third way is actually using something called Spot Fleet, which is also a way to spin up a fleet of instances, but it's just more focused on Spot. Okay, with each of these approaches, there's different levels of complexity. The EC2 instance is the simplest approach. You're just launching a single instance type here, so that's pretty straightforward. Spot and AutoScan groups, those are the most complex. And I'm pointing out that I think AutoScan groups is actually a little more complex than Spot fleets, mainly because with AutoScaling groups, you can use something called mixed instance types, sometimes called multiple instance types, sometimes called mixed instance policies. But basically, this is a way to launch not just on-demand instances, but a combination of either Spot or on-demand instances. With Spot Fleet, you can only launch all Spot instances, and it's still, the complexity level is still kind of up there. Okay, you're just managing more configurations. In terms of age, which is kind of the bottom axis there, the oldest actually method, of course, is the EC2 instance that's been around forever. Spot fleets are actually older than auto-scaling groups in terms of the Spot feature. So auto-scaling groups have been around for a while, then Spot fleets kind of came out. But auto-scaling group then added support for Spot instances as part of the auto-scaling group. So in terms of Spot, auto-scaling groups actually are a little bit younger. Okay, so some pros and cons. Kind of covered them in that actually previous slide, but pretty much EC2 instance is the simplest, and then auto-scaling group is the most complex, I would say, but it's also the most flexible. Okay, because you can actually do a percentage of different Spot instances and on-demand instances. So you can see where this goes. The recommendation, if you're trying to figure out which one you should use, is actually, I think, AutoScaling group, even though it's the most complex in some ways, it's actually very useful to know auto-scaling groups anyways, because they're such a core component of how you build highly available infrastructure with AWS. Okay, and then on top of that, when you're ready, you can always check out multiple instance types, sometimes again called mixed instance policies or mixed instance types. Okay, but this is just a way to configure a percentage of Spot instances and a percentage on-demand instances. So you can see I've kind of tabled there explaining it. You can allocate, say, 60% of your instances, you want those to be Spot, and then 40% you want those to be on demand, and then you can also configure a baseline on-demand capacity level with just the number of instances. That's pretty much it. Those are the different ways you can launch Spot instances. Thanks.